Meet number 2 of our Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN Network, and we are coming to you live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The PMAC Electric tonight with number 6 LSU and the 8th-ranked Arkansas Gymbacks in the house. It has been a celebration the last 2 weeks for Dee Bro and the Tigers with back-to-back perfect 10s for Ashleigh Gnat on vault. Will that carry over to a 3rd consecutive week in this Mardi Gras atmosphere?
Arkansas has also been celebrating with 2 back-to-back wins against higher-ranked opponents. They are a confident team who no longer see themselves as the underdog. They beat Alabama for the first time in Tuscaloosa by staying on the beam, and last week versus Auburn at home, they had a great finish on floor. But tonight, to get the win, they need to hit those handstands on bars and stick those landings on vault.
Well, the come-from-behind Hogs are looking to slay another top 10 team and snap an 18-meet LSU winning streak here inside the Pete Maravich Center. Can't wait to get this one started. I'm Alyssa Lee alongside Courtney Kupets-Carter and Casey Smith will join us shortly. So we know Ashleigh Gnat is really, really good on vault for LSU, but to take a look at the names in this lineup, 5 gymnasts rank in the top 50 nationally in this event.
It is this team's best event, and they feed off each other. It's not just one athlete does well and the rest don't. It's when one does well, everyone feeds off that.
And leading them off tonight, Erin Macadaeg, the sophomore from Redwood City, California, has been hit or miss on vault this season. Had 2 meets where she scored very well and 2 meets where she scored a 9.675 or less. But it's a young team and they're trying to build some depth.
She has a clean vault. If she just gets in her head, she needs to make sure she goes 1 step at a time on this vault. Great job in the air, perfect form, just that 1 step from the landing.
Should be an improved score for her and over to bars. Arkansas 13th in the country in this event. Cook hasn't made any changes to his lineups, but he did here tonight. Switched Erin Freier and Stephani Canizaro, feeling the scoring will be better. That's a look at Keara Glover, the senior from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And she has been fantastic in the leadoff spot on bars all season long for the Hogs.
In that leadoff position, you really want to see them hit those handstands first off. Nice release move there. Her hips were a little bit low when she caught the bar.
She's got good pacing.
Definitely has a smooth swing, very exact in everything she does. Just this landing from the dismount, small hop.
Small hop, but you saw her get high. The higher you go, the longer you have to square up and get that landing.
You want to make sure you see those athletes pass that high bar on that dismount, and yes, it will help them with the landing.
Sydnie Ewing, the junior from Lafayette, Louisiana. 3-time All-American, number 2 vaulter in the nation. She has come close to a perfect 10. Scored a 9.975 in the Kentucky meet and has scored a 9.9 or better over the last 3 meets. Excited to see what she does here tonight.
She does a 1.5, so she will do an extra twist over what Erin did right before her. It's a more difficult landing, but she has the form. If she sticks this, she could get that 10.
By the way, that's a career high for Erin Macadaeg ahead of her. Good start for LSU.
Chenka 1.5. Just a small hop on that landing. Should be a really good score to keep them going.
Beautiful. We should say you can't hide anything on vault. The judges are literally right there.
They are right there. They see the legs apart or together. Sydnie had them together on that vault with just that small hop.
So a really good start for both of these teams out of the gate in this first rotation as we take a look at Stephani Canizaro. Now, she struggled last week on bars, so Mark Cook, as we mentioned, wanted to put her in the 2 spot as Erin Freier moved down to the 3 spot, which basically flip-flopped him in the lineup.
It's all based on your personality and what you're comfortable with. Could have been one of their decisions as well. Getting in there and getting that routine out of the way before the rest of the girls go. Nice catch there. Almost looked like she didn't. Oh. And she's going to continue going. That's her release move there. Looks a little tense. Get back in her swing. Finish this dismount. Double layout, great landing. And you could just see that first skill that she did to that high bar, her hand catch just didn't look like she was on enough, and you could see she moves it, but that really affected that next skill, and she was not in the position she needed to get both hands on that bar.
But really hung on to not hit that floor.
That shows some fight in this team, and that's what they've showed all season is fight. Whenever something happens, they don't let it affect them. They move on and fight through it.
And Sarah Finnegan, freshman from Missouri, trained as a senior international elite competitor. And here she goes looking for a big vault tonight.
Beautiful in the air. She got speed onto that board and onto the table. Just had that step, and that's what they really need to start zoning in on is those landings.
She got her coaching from Al Fong, a former LSU gymnast. Great family with his wife. And let's send it over to the third member of our crew, Casey Smith.
Well, Melissa, Courtney was just talking about the fight of this Arkansas squad, and Mark Cook told us that this is the most confident he's seen his team all season. They're positive and optimistic, and even after Stephani Canizaro came over to the side, there's still a lot of smiles. They're really rallying around each other, wanting to put it in the past. Good vibes down here from the gym backs.
Well, they will need it on the road. It's tough to stay in that bubble, if you will. And we're waiting on some scores right now, which is the hold up here for Erin Freier.
The bars is a difficult event to start on because you've
So the judge is still working on the scoring here. It takes a little bit of wind out of your sails when you're waiting to go up, but Freier gave the wave, and she's getting ready to go up on bars right now.
She's got her game face. One of those athletes that will attack the event, will go all the way out. She needs to do that. Great start. Same skill that Stephani before her had a little bit of trouble on. Nice hold in that handstand. You really want to see a permanent hold. Just the dismount. A double layout.
Wow. Beautiful.
That is a routine to be happy about. Coming after a somewhat not typical fall, getting on that bar and finishing your routine the way Erin. Great job.
And we welcome those of you who are just now joining us. We're in the middle of the first rotation. We didn't miss a lot here. Melissa Lee alongside Courtney Kupets-Carter, Casey Smith. It is Mardi Gras weekend, as you see on the Leos for LSU. This is Randii Wyrick, ready to vault for the Tigers.
Nice Yurchenko layout half there. Great form. She pops off that table, does the layout, and then turns. She's almost to the point where she can call it the half front layout. It didn't look quite like she got it tonight.
Now, she's been dealing with a thumb issue, which is why she was taken out of the bars lineup. That may have affected her there on that vault. And that is a very good look at Amanda Wellick, the junior from Illinois. Tied her career best all-around score of 39.5 last week in the Auburn meet. Finally turned that corner on the dismount here on bars. We'll see if she can do it again here tonight. They just had one little change, and it made the difference.
I love what she said about that change. She actually asked her teammates for advice. What can I do? And they gave her some key points, and it really did help last week. Hoping to see it again. Nice routine so far. She's very clean when she swings on the bars. Into the dismount.
Much better still.
It's a
improving.
hop. It's a hop forward, but you'd rather have that hop forward than steps backward on a front landing like that.
She will take it after sitting it down in the Alabama meet. Here's another look at it.
There we go, her first release move. Beautiful swing, nice amplitude. And into that double front dismount. She cowboys those legs a little bit to build that rotation, but she didn't need it tonight.
Some pretty good scores incoming for Arkansas on bars after the fall by Canizaro. Myia Hambrick now, the sophomore, will vault for the Tigers. 21st in the nation in this event.
Wow, beautiful power from that run onto the table. She gets the height and distance you are looking for in these Yurchenko fulls.
You only have to look at Bob Moore's face, the assistant coach for LSU, to know that was pretty good.
The height she reaches, finishes the turn above the table. Look from the side, beautifully done. Comes in with flat hips on that landing.
By the way, that view you just saw is the view the judges have. And Braie Speed now ready to go on bars for Arkansas. Talked about how she missed her entire freshman season a year ago after tearing her ACL. Took her 8 months to rehab, the longest she's ever been away from gymnastics. Was cleared to practice, and it only took her 2 months to get back. That's amazing.
It is, her muscle memory is on par. She has that muscle memory, and you can see it in this bar routine. Beautiful release to start it out. Nice height and amplitude. A little bit, didn't finish that giant full on top of the bar, but she did not let it affect that dismount. Great landing.
That might actually be her best score this season.
And here's the release. Look how high it is. Her hips are above the bar when she catches, and a nice swing coming out of it. I'm sure it will be her season and career high.
And how about Ashleigh Gnat, the anchor, on vault? Back-to-back 10s the last 2 weeks. Looking to make it 3 in a row here tonight. Got to take a deep breath here.
If she sticks this vault, it will be a 10 because of her execution is done so well.
Double twisting your Chenko full, and it has been sensational.
It is such a beautiful vault. It's such high difficulty. I don't think anybody else in the country is doing this level of difficulty on vault. Won't get it tonight, but look at the height and 2 full twists in the air. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wait, bam! Yeah! Woo! And what does Didi say about her gymnast on vault? You got to come down looking like a dart. She looked like a dart there. I think Didi was happy with it. Won't get the 10 tonight, but it will be a big score for Ashleigh Gnat and the LSU Tigers. And now Paige Zaziski will wrap things up on bars for the Arkansas gym backs. She had a fall last week. She doesn't miss too many routines.
And that was just, she needs to call that a fluke. If a gymnast has a fall one time and they don't typically do it, they need to forget about it. They can't let it linger in their brain because gymnastics is a mental sport, and she is doing a great routine, just a dismount.
Wow.
Just that last handstand before the dismount wasn't there. But other than that, a very good routine to end out this rotation.
She's going to be happy about that score after the fall last week on bars. By the way, Nat picked up a 9.875, so there will be no three-peat, no hat trick for Ashleigh Gnat on vault tonight. So far, though, the meet is everything we could have wanted. Festive, fun, phenomenal gymnastics. We'll have a lot more of it when we come back. You're watching Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN Network. Well, it's Mardi Gras weekend here in Louisiana, and our production truck has turned into an apparent parade float. Check these guys out. Our crew cam. Everyone on point. Look at that. All dimes, perfect 10s across the board. Suit them up in a leotard, get them out here. Why? Because they can do this. That's called skills, people. So far here inside the PMAC, it is LSU on top of the Arkansas gym backs. 49.3 to Arkansas's 49.175 after that first rotation. And LSU vault no 10 for Ashleigh Gnat, but a 9.875 and some solid scores across the board. And for Arkansas on bars, much better. They had the one fall with Stephani Canizaro, but the scores built after that, and a nice finish by Paige Zaziski. So it is Mardi Gras, and of course we had to dress up, right? I'm Melissa Lee, she is Courtney Kupets-Carter, and we know Didi Bro's got a very strong Blazer game going, right? And so we thought we would kind of dress up and see if we could attack that Blazer game, and she actually gave us a 9.95. I think we earned a 10. I don't know where we went wrong.
I'm just surprised she gave us a 9.95. She is a tough judge for her athletes. But what she told us, she liked the color, she liked the sparkle. We took a risk on the sparkle. It was rewarded, but we didn't hit our potential because we didn't have any gold on.
I'm going to go land aircraft in the dark after this with this jacket on because why not? But speaking of some gymnasts that actually score very well and can get 10s, there's quite a few of them on this LSU team. As you can see the talent there, on point. Individual talent, how they stack up against the rest of the nation, pretty darn good.
It's great to have talent spread out throughout each event. And Number 1 on vault and a number 1 on floor is amazing, but they also have a number 6 in Lexie Priessman on their weakest event. Hopefully, she can lead this team further.
We will see her on bars when we come back. Rotation number 2 on the way. Arkansas will head to vault. Leah MacMoyle will throw her big Yurchenko full. And the Tigers will head to bars. Shae Zamardi looking for another career high and back-to-back meets on the other side. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the LSU Tigers stand on top of Arkansas by a score of 49-3 to the Gymbacks 49-175 as we prepare for the second rotation. The third member of our crew, Casey Smith, yeah, she got the Mardi Gras memo, and she's got more on the Hogs. Freshman phenoms.
Well, Melissa, over the last few seasons, Arkansas's freshmen have made a lasting impression in the SEC. In the last 2 years in a row, one has taken home Freshman of the Year honors. In 2014, it was Amanda Wellick who won the award for the first time in school history. And in 2015, it was Paige Zaziski who won Freshman of the Week honors as well, a program record 3 times. And Courtney, we've seen Sydnie McGlone make a strong case over the last month for this year's race. Could it be 3 straight in Fayetteville?
She is definitely in the running. She is strong on all 3 events. She competes, vault, beam, and floor, and she is a real impact on this Arkansas team.
Well, we will see her in a moment for Arkansas as we take a look at their vault lineup. They stuck just 1 out of 6 vaults last week, and with all of them being 9-9 start values, Mark Cook told us they can't give anything away.
And this leadoff position is crucial to building that momentum with the sticks. Nice vault. Leah has been one to really find that landing. Hasn't the last 2 weeks, maybe is thinking about it a little bit too much, but performs a very nice Yurchenko full.
Over to bars. Ranked 10th nationally in this event, LSU is. They have struggled at times this season. Associate head coach Jake Clark is all about the details. Courtney Kupets-Carter, head position, body position, and shaping, and with a lot of new faces in the mix, it takes a while to come along.
He even said he wants to keep that difficulty in there and work each week to build on those details. He doesn't want to take the difficulty out.
This is Ashleigh Gnat leading off, 5-time All-American. She knows this event is not her best, but to her credit, she is filling in for Randii Wyrick, who's having a problem with her thumb and can't quite get the proper grip on bars because of it.
As a replacement, you just need to know this is still a score for your team. She's doing a great job. A few little errors on the handstands, but a solid routine and a nice dismount. Her transition to the right, you can see a little bit of that pike on her handstand, so it wasn't a full straight body line. But again, this is her weaker event, and she's just working and getting better every single week as she competes.
So we'll get the tease for you. Wait for her on floor because it's awesome. This is Paige Zaziski now, ready to vault for Arkansas. Scored 9.8 or better on vault every meet this season. Her career high is a 9.925, which she picked up last season. See if she can meet it tonight.
Great height in the air. Just a small, almost nudge backward with those feet. Her vault excels because of that body position. She keeps it so straight in the air and really reaches that height you want to see in these vaults.
Love seeing the confidence back with her after hitting her bar routine, which she missed last week, and then coming out and killing it on vault. So we see Myia Hambrick now. Did not compete on bars last season. Tough to crack the lineups behind all those all-arounders, Reagan Corbell and Jessie Jordan last season, but so far she averages a 9.838 and has been very, very solid this season.
It's great to see an athlete coming from her freshman year, only competing a couple events, a couple times, and coming in as an all-arounder and really standing out in this on this very talented team.
And a little hold up by the judges. Second time we've seen that here tonight. Trying to get the proper numbers in, and now the salute for Hambrick. And up she goes.
First release, you can see a little bit of a pike in the flex in the foot. Judges will be looking at every single line these gyms perform and the skills. And they're right there.
Very pointed toes, keep them together.
On the dismount, a little bit close to that bar. She got great height in that air, but she turned a little too early off of the bar in that dismount, and that's what brought her back in.
The second those feet touched the floor, these fans shot out of their seats.
They are loud and proud for these Tigers. But she found the landing, and that's what's most important. Have a little bit of an error in the air, you make it up, and you find it on the landing.
We told you Didi brings her A game with those Blazers. I'm telling you, this is Braie Speed now. She was just a little too amped on vault last week, got her lowest score of the season because of it. Much better tonight.
She had a little bit of that leg separation in the air. Found the landing pretty well. But that will help lead them off. Not really finding those sticks we were talking about earlier. They need to find the sticks and those landings to reach those tenths they need to win this meet.
And that score just came in for Myia Hambrick. It was a 9.925. These fans know a good routine when they see one. Jessica Safvona now from Ontario. Has been hampered with an ankle injury this season. One that was initially listed as a sprain, but she kept limping, and they went back and checked it out and found out she's got a torn ligament. It's going to be a few weeks before she can get back into a few events.
It's amazing what gymnasts will go through and push through when they have such a severe injury. I'm glad to see her on the bars. Nice work so far. Oh, a little bit of that arch. Fought it over. Double layout, dismount.
Wow.
Oh. She found that landing, had a little bit of that movement, pushing backward in her shoulders, so not quite controlled is what you want to see. But a clean routine, just a slight arch here. You see she covers it very, very well. She could have gone over. She pushed through those shoulders to keep it on.
That's going to be another good score to follow up the 9.925 from Hambrick. By the way, Braie Speed on the other side picked up a 9.8. That is an individual career high. And now Sydnie McGlone, the freshman, someone that could certainly fight for the SEC Freshman of the Year title, as we mentioned. And here she comes.
Nice speed, great positioning in the air. You can see it's not her favorite vault tonight. She's stuck several this season. And you see her there just not getting enough of that height she typically gets.
Send it over to Casey.
Melissa, you know that Didi Bro is always full of very inspirational quotes, and she told us this week that her message to this team is together. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together as a team. And down here on the floor, you see this team embracing that. After each routine, they all come up, high fives, smiles, hugs all around. I know their head coach is very happy with that.
And I love that quote. You see the freshman, Lexie Priessman, again, very young, very talented team, but they're doing it together, and only good things can happen from that.
And this could be the leadoff for them. Such a precise bar worker. Wow. Great form, great height in everything she did. And finish that landing. Those scores are going to continue to build if they do bars this way. Finishing off her team was the dismount, a double layout. Pikes it in the air just a little bit, but gets that height and finds a nice landing. Not a stick, but a nice landing.
Amanda Wellick, we should just go ahead and give her a 9.9 for her vault right now, because that's been her vault score in 4 out of the 5 meets this season, 8th in the country. In this event, she's going to show you why.
And there it is again.
Oh,
that
nice.
is incredible to stick that many times in a row. It means she's actually doing the vault technically correct. She gets that height off, finishes the turn before she passes that table, and sees that landing. She has such great awareness on the vault. She needs to pass that over to some of her teammates.
She's got the 9.95 start value, but she's also training a 1.5. Just isn't quite ready for it yet, but I can't wait to see it when she puts it out there. This is Sarah Finnegan over on bars now for LSU. First gymnast in school history to post a 9.95 on bars in the first road meet of her career. Didi told us she is capable of a 10 on any event. And with her background, of course she is.
And she has fallen one other time this season on bars. She has the skills, she has the technique, and she has the experience to be in big events, to have that pressure. Just getting back in as a freshman this year with this team. Seems to be finding a little bit of trouble here and there.
That's a rare miss for her. She had a miss on beam last week. We'll talk more about that later in the meet. She's going to try to finish strong here. And that she does.
She's disappointed, but it's still early enough in the season. She needs to get these kinks out now. Looks like she just directed her toes away to the left of that bar instead of straight on top of it.
It turned over. She was there. I think she felt like she was dropping.
You could hear her say she felt like she looked like she was dropping. She just needed a little bit more height in the air to be able to see that bar to catch it.
Samantha Nelson now over on vault for Arkansas. Has a Yurchenko full.
Much better positioning in the air. She has been getting better every single week. Had a little bit of pike earlier in this season, all the way through that turn. Still a little bit off to the side, but definitely is improving each week, and that's what this team needs, improvement every single week.
I'm not sure where the deduction came for Wellick's vault, but she got a 9.85.
Not what we were expecting. We saw the 9.9 again, possibly the like positioning in the air, but I didn't see it.
Now Jay Clark talking up Shae Zamardi, the anchor on bars, and boy, has she come a long way. Competed on an injured leg for an entire year in high school. Found out she had 5 tears in her hamstring because of it. Rehabbed and received All-American honors on bars last season.
It's amazing sometimes what an injury can do for an athlete. It's so hard to be injured and wait. You have to be patient to get back in the gymnastics world. But once you do, you have a stronger, more revised, just ready to go gymnastics feeling.
Also trying to work to get her back on the floor as well, which is actually where she had the injury 5 years ago.
This is a very clean routine, and her dismount is the highlight. She does a double Arabian dismount. There's her release, also one that you don't see very often, or her Kina. She'll turn into a double front, a more difficult landing because it's blind, but such a beautiful bar swinger.
So Arkansas finishes that rotation on vault with a 49.025, and standing by with the head coach of the gym backs, Mark Cook, is Casey Smith.
Coach, your emphasis this week was not making little errors and giving away those tenths. How would you assess that so far?
We're still doing it. We still got to, hit our handstands a little better, stick more of our vaults. We had Stephani Canizaro messed up a bar routine, and she hasn't done that this week in training. But, a few short handstands, but we just got to, again, go to a competition and just tighten up a little bit better. Okay.
And what do you want to see on the next 2 rotations to rally back from that?
Aggressive and no errors. Okay.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, the Hogs are known this season for saving the best for last. 2 come-from-behind victories already. Looking for a 3rd tonight in Baton Rouge. Rotation 3 on the way from Baton Rouge when we come back. Here inside the Pete Maravich Center, part of the doubleheader of Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN network, and it is the LSU Tigers on top of the Arkansas gym backs by a score of 98-575 to Arkansas's 98-2, extending their lead to .375 as we get ready for the 3rd rotation. And Arkansas, their vault scores pretty good. Amanda Wellick thought she got that 9.9 there, but she ended up with a 9.85. Braie Speed, though, did pick up a career high with her 9.8.
And it's all because of those landings. They have gotten so much better in the air, and on that block off the table, they just need to get those landings.
And LSU on bars, they will drop the score, the 9.275 on the fall by Sarah Finnegan. But Myia Hambrick with a big 9.925 score got the crowd on their feet. And a look at what happened earlier in the meet. Ashleigh Gnat didn't get the 10 tonight on vault.
But it's a double full Yurchenko, the hardest you will see, and she performs it so well, just needs to find that landing. And Myia Hambrick over on the bars. Great dismount, great routine to start off, and you could see that stick. It's a great job.
Oh, coming up, the Tigers are looking to bounce back on beam after 2 falls last week. Sarah Finnegan will give you a skill you don't want to miss, and Sydnie McGlone has been a showstopper on floor for the Hogs. She'll take center stage when we come back. All the SEC news of the day on SEC Now, streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Back inside the BMAC, LSU on top of Arkansas by a score of 98-575 to the Hogs' 98-2. Well, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that LSU head coach Didi Burrow has a strong Blazer game, always has. If it's got tiger stripes on it, she owns it. In 39 years of coaching, she has quite the collection. Gave us a small sample of some of her favorites yesterday. So, Didi, this is only a portion of the wonderful collection that you have. I'm curious, how do you select what you're going to wear for each meet?
Well, I always start out with my favorites. This one I always choose and want to wear, but it's kind of fragile. My mother made it quite a few years ago. It's quilted. You know, I'll look at it, but I probably won't wear it. I probably won't decide on that one. Tomorrow's Mardi Gras, so it's wide open. It's just, you know, let it go. You can pretty much wear whatever you want. I mean, I can go with something that's got a lot of tiger to it. I can go with something that's got a lot of sequins. I can go with something that's got a lot of pop. It's brand new. You know, something that looks like Mardi Gras.
Oh, winner, chicken dinner. She was a very good sport. We shot that in the gymnastics facility, a fantastic recruiting tool on one Didi hopes will help net her first national championship. It is the only thing missing from her resume.
Didi Burrow is one of the SEC coaching greats. Her team's top accomplishments include 9 appearances in the last 10 years to the NCAA championship, and 4 of those leading to the Super 6.
Rotation 3 about to begin. LSU will be on beam, Arkansas on floor, and we've mentioned Arkansas. The 2 come from behind victories. We call them comeback kids for a reason. And those were the deficits they came back from the last 2 meets, 0.65 to the Alabama Crimson Tide and 0.3 to Auburn.
And they are still tonight only within that range, about 3/10 away. Every little landing counts for them tonight.
Well, these are 2 teams and 2 coaches that right now say, we got to get to a point where we're starting to hit the 197 plus mark. And Mark Cook especially, to keep where they are currently in the rankings, in the national rankings, to be one of the top 4 teams in the SEC.
And that's the small little things on every event, the landings, the hit handstands, the small things that you can control by doing your gymnastics technically correct. And that's what we're not seeing so far in this meet.
LSU will head over to beam. Now, they had 2 falls last week. It was what cost them that trip to the Super 6 a year ago in a season where they were actually the heavy favorite to win it all. And Didi told us she's got the best beam team in the nation in practice. Big difference.
Beam is all about your mental capacity, where you're at in your head. When it gets tight, what are you going to do? You need to make sure you perform the way you do in practice.
And, of course, where were they last week? Back down in Dallas. Erin Macadaeg will lead them off, and she didn't quite have her best beam performance of the season in Dallas last week. And when we asked Didi Burrow who is close to turning a 10 this season besides Ashleigh Gnat, she pointed to this routine, says that when she hits it in practice, it is absolutely stunning.
Another thing she told her was, make it look easy. I love that, because when your gymnastics looks easy, you're doing it right. Nice connection, and you see just when she landed, her chest went over in a slight wobble. Now it is a 4-inch wide beam. It's not very big, so they really need to make sure they keep their body on top of that balance beam. If they let it go to either side, that's what starts making them fall off on a scale.
Are you sure? Because this year with all the falls, it feels like it's been shrunk down to 3 inches.
We'll have to check with the referees on that. Nice series back handspring layout, but you see still just that hesitation when she's landing these skills. You need to be confident with each of these landings. Just this dismount. Nice landing to finish it off. Looking at her series, the back handspring layout step out, beautifully done. She pulls those arms down to help her stay on. She didn't need to have that slight wobble.
Didi Burrow happy with her leadoff nonetheless as we head over to floor. And Sydnie Dillard, one of the 5 seniors on this Arkansas team, has a fun routine. And she's been rewarded for it with a couple of 9.85s the last 2 meets. And those were the 2 meets we saw Arkansas come from behind with a win.
This is a very important event for this team, and the leadoff position can set the tone. Nice front twisting, 1.5. Sydnie does a lot of twisting in her routine. She's very precise in it. Her legs stay together, and she's able to land her passes with her hips flat.
The Arkansas full lineup is 10th in the nation, and this was by far their best event last week. They got to drop a 9.825, Courtney. That's a good day.
A very good day when you can drop a 9.825. You ultimately want 9.85s and up in each of your lineups to get toward that 197. A very clean routine so far. She has one pass to go. One and a half connected straight into a punch front layout.
Great start.
Does such a great job with this twisting. I was talking about earlier, look at her positioning in the air, and her legs do not come apart. That's what you want to see in all twisting.
Back over to Beam at LSU. Let's send it over to Casey.
Melissa, Dee Bro keeps a log in practice of every single routine, and she told us this week that Myia Hambrick has had some inconsistency getting in her head in her beam routine, and she said that she showed her how many times she's missed a routine in practice since September. She said it's only been 4. She said, Myra, you've got to trust your training, and just before she got on the beam, the head coach said, just breathe and go out there and do what you know how to do.
Yeah, the meet after Dee pulled her aside and they had that conversation, Hambrick went out and scored a 9.85. So it worked.
It's amazing how you might not realize how consistent you are in practice. I'm glad she emphasized that to Myia. It really does help bring your confidence back. There's no reason, you can think, there's no reason for me to fall off this beam. I can do this every single day in the gym. I can do this at a meet.
But only missing 4 since the first practice. You know she can do it.
It's a great percentage. Backhand spinning out her series. Again, just a slight hesitation. Not too much of a wobble, but you don't even want to see that hesitation. Double full dismount,
nice.
sticks the landing.
Wow.
That was a great routine. The tempo, the smooth transitions. I think she's back on her A game.
That was just gorgeous.
The round off, double full off the end, and she nails it.
So I just think we need to take a moment for that dismount. Everybody take a moment. That was fantastic.
And the fans realize it too. They're cheering away.
Makenzie Anderson, the freshman. Well, she is somebody that has been potential in and out of lineups for Arkansas. Had been an alternate in some of the events and getting a shot on the road on a big stage here in Baton Rouge.
And to do that, she had to have a good warm-up. They're watching the warm-up before they get out here to compete. She must have found herself within this floor. Got to find her timing and the bounce of a floor, and she did. Hopefully she can on this first tumbling pass. Her double pike and a great landing.
Again, Mark Cook does not change his lineups really at all. So she must have done something very well for him to put her in tonight.
Great connection on that second pass. Bringing the artistry into it, keeping that smile going.
She did get into the vault lineup in the Cancun meet to start the season. Had some jitters in that meet. I don't see any here tonight.
She looks very confident in her tumbling and what she is doing. And that probably comes from her teammates on the side cheering her on. Double tuck to finish, a little bit low. You can see that knee bend, a little squatty. But wow, for someone that has not competed very much in this environment, that was a fantastic routine. in her second pass, doing it right after the first, getting it out of the way, the front full, right into that front layout. Looks like she took a little bit of a sidestep with both feet. If the judges take a deduction per step if they saw that.
So Myia Hambrick, by the way, picked up a 9.925 for her finish on bars. Just a beautiful set as we take a look at Michelle Gauthier, a senior walk-on that has competed the last 2 meets in the competitive B lineup because, according to Didi, she earned it. She's beaten people out in their weekly inter squads, and Didi told us, you know, if you're going to have the inter squads, they've got to mean something.
I love that. It's so true. If you're going to do something in the gym, you have to let these athletes know that it's important to be on in the gym because that's what it's going to take in a meet. The hand-swing layout, very solid. That's what you want to see after a skill. No movement whatsoever. Nice connection there. The athletes are supposed to do a 180-degree split, and she did it in her switch leap and her connection. Beautiful connection into that gainer layout. You don't see many of those anymore. It's one of my favorite skills. Confident senior who has not had that much experience and nails the dismount. She might be in this lineup for good.
Okay, so those who are questioning Didi Bro, Queen Bee knows best.
It's amazing because there might be someone saying, look, she's a walk-on. She hasn't had much experience. But look at what she can do when she is on.
That was our reaction too, by the way.
It was a beautiful routine, and it really does make you get that much more excited when you see an athlete perform to their potential.
And considering what happened on beam a week ago, the 2 falls, so far so good for the Tigers. This is Stephani Canizaro, who had the fall on bars, looking to bounce back here on floor in her 5th and final season with the team. 5 seniors on this squad. Again, just the 2 freshmen. Got a lot of experience.
Can see that in their experience. They really are helping those underclassmen understand the concept of competing every weekend, what it takes.
Beautiful.
Great double pike.
Now she, by the way, wants to follow in her former teammate turned assistant coach Jamie Pisani's footsteps and be a gymnastics coach. Haley Zubald also doing the same thing as a volunteer assistant this year.
When you're a gymnast, it's most likely been all you've done your entire life, and you can't get away from it.
Wow.
She has such a great takeoff in the air before she does her tumbling. Ultimately, that's what helps her get those clean landings.
So far on floor for Arkansas, 9.775 by Dillard and a 9.7 for Anderson.
Really want them to start pushing that 9.8 mark to keep in competition with LSU on the beam. Great connection. Beautiful form in the air. This might be the routine to get them past that 9.8 mark.
And again, they were down 0.375 heading into this rotation, but a beautiful finish here by Canizaro.
You just see that takeoff in the air before she starts putting those shoulder back to do her double back. And then her twisting as well, legs sealed tight. She liked it.
She sure did, sending a message to somebody at home. By the way, Michelle Gauthier had the 9.875. That's an individual career high for her on beam. Sydnie Ewing now.
Sydnie is an All-American on the beam. So she has the experience and the accolades along with it. Beautiful 2-foot layout. That is more difficult than the layout step out. You have more power, and if you're off a little bit, it's going to take you off faster than if you were landing on 1 foot.
She had one of the 2 LSU falls last week. She's somebody that went from a walk-on to an All-American, as you mentioned, marched all the way to the Super 6 as a beam specialist her freshman season. Scored a 9.875 there.
really showing that control from one skill to the next. You're looking for those connections to be clean and move through them.
Didi said the arena just got to her head down in Dallas at the Metroplex. No problems tonight.
Great experience for the national championships to be on that podium. Tonight, she really shows that she can lead this team on balance beam. And the dismount, the round off, 1.5. Almost finding that landing, just a slight movement in that foot, but getting closer to the sticks.
Casey.
Well, Melissa, this Arkansas coaching staff really likes the team dynamic while the other team is performing. He said that the girls are just preparing themselves for their 2-team, and that the girls that are not competing are giving them positive vibes and energy. And down here on the floor, you can see them during their floor routines. They're doing the dance moves with the girl that's actually performing. They're sending lots of energy to the floor, something that Mark Cook said he really likes about this team. Courtney, how important is that during these floor routines to see that from the rest of your team?
It is so important, and it's amazing how much having your team cheer you on the sideline can help in your tumbling passes. It really does help, and that first pass showed it.
Samantha Nelson, she had career highs on floor in back-to-back meets, a 9.9 at Alabama and a 9.925 at home last week in Arkansas. She's so fun to watch.
Bringing that personality is another factor the judges are actually looking for. They want to see your presentation along with your tumbling.
Don't think she'll have any deductions on that end.
She smiled the whole way through.
Gave herself a little cue. Speaking to herself, a little short there.
That's right, she did not quite get that takeoff. I think rushed it just a little bit, got ahead of herself. First 2 passes were on key, just a little bit of trouble on that last pass.
So that one followed up the 9.775 by Canizaro. So Sarah Finnegan now. Her 9.925 versus Oklahoma was the highest score for an LSU gymnast competing their first career beam routine. And a big reason why is this triple wolf turn coming up, which she actually missed last week. But Didi said it was better to miss it, because if she didn't, she continued through, she would have broken her toe.
It's incredible what these gymnasts go through. I saw her do a full earlier. Didn't make it around. There's the triple.
Nice.
Glad to see, even though she had a little bit of trouble in warm-up, that she came back and did it in the competition to prove to herself more than anything that she can do it.
And if you're just watching gymnastics for the first time, that's rare. You're not going to see that every day.
It's a show-stopping kind of move. It's difficult. You have to be on with your weight balance so right. And after making it, it really does set her routine up.
She struggled on bars, looking to bounce back on beam. So far, so good.
Beautiful routine, nails the dismount. That is probably her best routine of the season. And what started it off was this triple wolf turn. See her kind of hesitate in the middle, gets it all the way around. A show-stopping move.
Just gorgeous.
And finish it off. A simple dismount, but she lands it.
Oh, yeah!
The reaction says it all.
Oh, seeing that live, though, wow. It is definitely a showstopper. Sydnie McGlone now, the freshman, up on floor. First Arkansas gymnast with a double layout on floor. She hit it 2 weeks ago, but she debuted it at Alabama, a little short last week. See if she can hit it here tonight.
Nice in the air, didn't quite get the takeoff she needed before she whipped it back. Came in a little bit short again.
So what does she do differently there, Courtney?
She needs to make sure from that round up back handspring, she gets her feet all the way under hers to set it right up in the air to get the height she needs to complete that rotation. twisting pass. You see her almost go out and then kind of slips on that landing. Will be a deduction for that pass. But she still has one more tumbling pass to go. She needs to calm down, set herself up the way she knows how. Good finish on that last pass. Unfortunate for Sydnie. She has been such a highlight to this team in every area she competes in, especially this floor. And here's that middle pass. She's just a little offside. Could see it slip, but lifts it to make sure she stays in bounds. I'm just glad she didn't let it slip and land on her, but
Arkansas struggled a little bit on floor here tonight, and LSU on the other side is really widening the gap. Sarah Finnegan, you called it, Courtney. That's a career high score for her, a 9.925, and now here is Bugs, Ashleigh Gnat, to round things out on beam for the Tigers.
this is the way you want a lineup to go. You want each routine to build off the next, and it started with Erin today. First in the lineup, all the way to Sarah Finnegan with her 9.95. Oh, and you would hope that Ashleigh Gnat would take advantage of that and have her routine excel. Slight wobble there to start it off.
Dee is so proud of her. So she's just a pleasure to be around in the gym every day, and her teammates just adore her. It's become a real leader by example.
It's so special when not only are you a talented athlete, but your teammates love you because you are so nice and so welcoming to them. It makes her a leader in multiple ways. Holding on to this beam set. Nice series. Back into her own frame of mind.
The good news, no matter how she finishes, LSU has a season high on beam already.
And a great dismount, solid landing. A few errors within the routine, but that is what you want to do to finish. She finishes with the round off, double full dismount, finds that landing. They really are finding their landings on these balance beam dismounts.
LSU had 3 career highs on beam tonight, 1 season high. 49.45 is their score on beam. They'll get to drop Ashleigh Gnat's score. Amanda Wellick now will round things out over on floor for Arkansas. And she has been fun to watch in this event as well. You know, she wanted to compete at a Division I school. Her sister Jessica was a swimmer at Michigan State. Wellick wanted to follow in those footsteps and doing a bang-up job at Arkansas.
And that shows in her floor routine with the height she creates in the air, but also her landings. I just love when we watch Amanda for the past 4 weeks now. She's on with her vaults and her landings, finding that awareness. And on floor, she does the same thing.
And on bars, she finally figured out that dismount. It's good to see. Back-to-back weeks, she's pretty much back in the zone on bars. And again, she's just a junior, but leads this team.
It's amazing. She has another year ahead of her. Has had a good routine so far. Nice landings. 1 pass to go. She finds the height in this tumbling pass as well. Round up, back handspring, double back. Beautifully done. I just love the way her hips are so in line.
That might be the high score on 4 for Arkansas tonight.
And the reason she finds those landings is this, the takeoff. She gets so high up in the air and then lifts those hips.
So again, a season high on beam for LSU. We'll send it over to Casey Smith, who is with Dee Breaux, who I know is loving her team on beam tonight.
Well, Coach, a season high on the beam routine for this team. What did you see from your girls in that last rotation?
We call it the eye of the tiger. I saw a focus and a determination. We've kind of been shaky in the last couple of weeks on beam and started out really strong. So we changed our training a little bit this week, and I think that they really rallied tonight.
You said going into this meet that you wanted to see consistency and for these girls to have fun. What can they do for this last rotation?
Well, we've got to let it go. They've got to not try. Nothing beats a try but a failure. And, you know, just go out and tumble. Get their feet underneath you and let it fly.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Now, ladies, your 2-minute rotation here at Finnegan's. Come on,
Her team is 5th in the country on 4. That is where the Tigers will go next for our 4th and final rotation. LSU trying to keep an 18-meet home win streak alive when we come back. Back here in Baton Rouge, Friday Night Heights. Well, the ribbon cutting for the brand new gymnastics facility here at LSU is tomorrow. The governor is going to be there, as well as donors, friends, and family who will walk around like I did yesterday saying, wow, 18,000 square feet, state-of-the-art. The gymnasts call it the Palace for a reason. It rivals any training facility in the world, and it sits right across the street from us here at the PMAC. Well, right now the Tigers are on top of Arkansas by a score of 148-025 to Arkansas's 147-025. So far for LSU, 4 season highs, 5 career highs through 3 rotations. And how about last week? The Florida Gators, big time, 3 perfect 10s, a school record.
Having 3 perfect 10s in one night, but from 3 different athletes, is incredible. Alex McMurtry started off on bars, topped off by Bridget on beam, and Kennedy Baker wanted to get in the action and got her 10-0 on floor. Then all 8 SEC schools are in the top 25. Leading the race is Florida. Now, to have this much talent in one conference keeps everyone on their toes. You can't have a down night in the SEC, but it's also a great way to prepare for that national championship.
Well, you'll see 4 of those teams on our air next week. Missouri heads to Kentucky, and Alabama will try and extend their dominant win streak over the Auburn Tigers. It currently sits at 117. We're gearing up for the big finish here in Baton Rouge, Arkansas. We'll head to Beam, where Samantha Nelson has scored career highs the last 2 meets, and Ashleigh Gnat bucks 10th in the nation in the 4 exercise. She's going to show you why on the other side. And tied. Then at 5:30, Auburn takes on Georgia, and at 8 Eastern, Tennessee squares off against Arkansas. All of those games are streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Heading to this 4th rotation, LSU leading by a full point. They will head over to floor. But first, Dee Breaux, she's been mic'd up all night, giving us some great stuff. Let's take a listen.
Sorry. It's okay. It's battle scars. It's battle scars.
It's from everyone wanting to
Hugging. Bam.
It's not fun.
Big block. Keep those hips open, okay? Your hips know where they want to be. Just put your feet under them. Get up there and be a monster. Be a dragon, okay? Come on, baby. Your leap was beautiful. You just anticipated a break. Your body didn't break. Your mind did, okay? That's a hard leap. You got to be ready for it to be great, okay? Good job, baby. Everything stays square. The layout, everything stays square. Smile a little, breathe a little. Get you ready, sir.
Jacket holding up pretty good. See, it's clean. There's nothing on the back of that.
She got it all off.
She's got it all off. No big deal. Well, Arkansas will head to Beam in this rotation. They have been so good there this season. Mark Cook, of course, changed the lineup around after that first meet of the season. And they have not seen a fall since.
They have not, and this is a different environment for them. They are in an environment where LSU is doing a great job from beam to floor. Let's see how they can handle that pressure.
So Sydnie Dillard will lead them off. Averages a 9.845. Has been rock solid in the lead-up spot. The Hogs aggressive. And she is a big reason why they follow her.
It's amazing to see an athlete who has been the anchor for most of her career be able to switch into that first off position. It's a very difficult position to be in. And she does the same routine whether she's in the beginning of the lineup or the end. Nice connection from one skill to the other. She's so fluid in how she moves on the beam. She shows control from one skill to the next. So far, not a wobble that I've seen, just the dismount left. Round off 1.5. Nails the landing.
She held on to that. That is senior leadership right there.
The end to this pretty flawless routine. The dismount. Holds on. Great start.
The leadoff on floor for LSU is Sydnie Ewing. Remember, LSU ranked 5th in the country in this event. Coach Ashleigh Kearney has done an excellent job with the gymnasts, and the choreography you will see throughout this lineup.
She choreographs it to their personality, so she doesn't just have a set way she teaches them. It's all based on who they are as a gymnast.
Sydnie has scored a 9.85 the last 3 meets. You know, she grew up 45 minutes down the road from LSU, started coming to meets as a little girl, and always dreamed of being a Tiger. And she is wearing that Leo proud tonight.
Nice routine so far. Just clean in the way she performs these skills and on those landings, which is what we're looking for tonight.
Speaking of great floor choreography, Myia Hall and Reagan Corville were in the crowd here tonight watching the Tigers.
Also getting some SEC bling.
Some hardware
from last
picked
year.
up from a year ago.
I'm sure this team knows they are here and cheering them on, and that really does help, having their support. Nice height and direction in that double pike.
Okay, did you see the sass at the end after that last pass? She knew she nailed it.
Well, Didi was talking about it. She wanted them to get those feet underneath them to get up in the air, and that's exactly what she did. Right here, underneath, raises up in the air. Great landing. And the sass.
There it is. Lips pursed. No problem, I got this. Still smiling
They're
afterwards.
having fun.
Well, they're up by a full point over Arkansas, who struggled a little bit here today on floor where they were outstanding a week ago. So we see Paige Zaziski, the leadoff on beam for the Hogs.
Paige was a little shaky last week on this event.
Not in the leadoff, she's in the 2 spot, excuse me. We already had Sydnie Dillard, who had the 9.825 ahead of her.
That handspring layout. Great form today and is very confident. She is taking her time before she does each skill.
She and Dillard are almost automatic to hit on beam, which is why they're at the front. Usually the best gymnasts on beam are at the back end. Mark Cook has front-loaded his beam lineup, and it has worked perfectly.
He has. Not only are they very talented on this event, but it's because of their personality. They can handle that pressure and control their body and their movements to make sure the rest of this lineup doesn't have to worry about a fall in front of them.
She has had a great meet so far. Another great finish for the sophomore from Michigan.
Every 10th counts for them on this balance beam rotation. Her back handspring layout done to perfection. They know the meets are not over until they are over.
I'll send it over to Casey.
Melissa, Courtney has told us many times how important the environment is during these meets. And I'll tell you what, the crowd in here inside PMAC is electric tonight. The girls are really responding down here. You hear the crowd singing along to the songs no matter which team is performing. And the girls are down here doing the same. Great energy. And I know that that's what this coaching staff likes to see.
It's a great gymnastics crowd for sure. They know what's going on. They got the gist of this. Myia Hambrick now on floor. Wow.
Beautiful double out. Has that height, but her rotation gets her around with so much speed.
She has been great tonight. And Dee Dee told us this routine is much improved from a year ago.
Through not necessarily the tumbling, she's had great tumbling, but the choreography.
Right.
Kind of getting that personality out there, knowing that judges want to see your performance just as much as they want to see your tumbling. And you know what? I think it's helped her tumbling.
Dee Dee said the showmanship is important, but she said go out there and flirt with the judges. Have some fun out there, and so far she's got 2 9.9s this season to show for it. I saw her just look at the judges just now. Just a little signal like, I've got this.
She's listening. She's trying to get as good as she can. What a finish with that double pike. Great landing. This team is really setting the stage on floor. Her double layout starts it off and then finishes it off with this double pike. She took it back a little bit further than I would technically like. I'd want to see it up a little higher.
Feet under you. 1, 2. 1, 2.
And there you hear it, the feet under you. She could have done a little bit more, but it helped her get around tonight.
And you heard the nickname Hambone. If Hambone gets a 9.8 or better on that floor routine, she's got to clinch the all-around title tonight. Amanda Wellick now up on beam. Just another event that she's fantastic at. Tied her career high, 9.9 on beam last Friday night, looking to build on that.
I said it last week, but I can't believe she's only gotten 2 9.9s on this event. She is so steady and really knows where to put herself in these skills when she lands.
By the way, Hambrick, she needed the 9.8. She got the 9.9. That is a career high for her and her 3rd career all-around title. It's been a good night for the Tigers.
They've been pushing the envelope. Slight wobble there on that side summy. Arched back, but was able to pull that weight forward. The round of double full dismount. Great landing. Just the one slight error on that side summy. Her finish. Round off. Double full. Great position in the air. Great shape. And finds the landing yet again.
I'll tell you, they might have struggled on floor, but didn't phase them. And it hasn't done that all season, no matter if they're on the road or at home. Arkansas finishes strong. Sarah Finnegan now taking center stage for the Tigers in the all-around. Got in the all-around the first time last week for the team. Alternate for the U.S. Gymnastics Olympic team that won gold at the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. Send it over to Casey.
Well, Melissa, again, the atmosphere down here is incredible. And Dee Dee Bro is really happy with what she's seeing. She's all smiles down here, keeps going up to the girls and saying, let's finish strong, let's play off this crowd. Great energy down here from LSU. A great night for all of them so far. Looking forward to see the rest of this rotation.
See, on that first pass, she had a little bit too much energy, had a larger step than normal, but bringing it back with that double tuck.
After the Olympics. She missed the entire 2013 club season after suffering an injury and said she just simply got burnt out. Wasn't sure she even wanted to continue gymnastics, but Jay Clark stayed on her in the recruiting process, and she fell in love with LSU. Al Fong, by the way, her coach, was a gymnast here at LSU. Helped the connection.
I am so glad she decided to finally go that NCAA route for a gymnast who is so qualified in the elite world. He's done so much in gymnastics. To just stop there, it's not enough. A little bit short on that lane, didn't quite get her feet under her like Dee Dee's been talking about. But what a beautifully choreographed routine. It's so unique and pretty to watch.
Again, she brings those elite skills. It's hard to realize she's a freshman when she's out there.
Being an elite, though, you do kind of get in your head and you're a little intense. It's time for her to loosen up a little bit, and I think that's what they're working on with her.
Send it to Casey over on B.
Melissa, when you talked to Mark Cook this week, you asked him to kind of break down the personalities of each girl on his squad. And when he talked about Erin Freier, he said she is the fierce one. He said she loves to compete and that the girls really feed off of that energy that she gives, and that when she gets on the beam, you can just see that fierce personality that she brings to this squad.
Fierce from the beginning of the season when she had the fall in that Cancun meet, has not missed a routine since.
You can see that fierceness in her eyes, and that's what helps her not miss. She's aggressive on each skill. She doesn't hold back just because she's in competition. Preparing for her series. Back handspring, layout step out. Pulls that arm down, and you see her kind of cover with pulling the other one down as a dance element. So exact in her landings, and I do like the way she stops for a second. She lands and shows you she had full control.
He is just beautiful up there. The long, lean lines. She's been a joy to watch this season.
Just that one small error on her leap connection, but continues to nail it on the dismount.
Over on floor, this is McKenna Kelley, the freshman. And how about some family ties? These are some big ones. Her father, Shannon, was a quarterback at Texas, and that's her mom. Yes, Mary Lou Retton, that Mary Lou Retton, 1984 Olympic gold medalist. But you know what? McKenna Kelley wants to make a name for herself, and she wants to do it here at LSU.
It's completely understandable. She does have a very famous mother in the world of gymnastics. Wants to make her name for herself in college gymnastics, well, that's the place for her to do it.
Scored a career-high 9.85 on floor last week. She's been nursing a bit of an ankle injury she suffered the day she left for Thanksgiving break, but healed up and good enough to perform on floor for the Tigers.
Double layout, so much power that she goes out of bounds. That'll be a 10th deduction for going out of bounds, plus the step backward. She needs to kind of control that power. She's got a little adrenaline going on tonight. Nice way to come back and complete her middle pass.
You know, that step out, Dee Dee even told us earlier this week, she's a typical freshman and gets a little too juiced sometimes in competition.
And it can happen. You just really need to continue to learn your body and your skills because you're competing every single weekend. It's different than club where you compete maybe 4 times in the year. Great way to finish it off.
Great resilience to keep it going, still have a smile on her face. She's still working hard on those landings and will continue to work even harder to perfect them.
So much difficulty, though, to start it off.
9.825.
Back over to beam and Sydnie McGlone. And speaking of improvement, she's improved every single meet. Got some senior leadership around her, which has helped bring her along. Embodies that attacking attitude this team has had on beam, and she's also been fun to watch.
Seems like she's gained experience and become an upperclassman just within the last few meets, improving every week. You see a little bit of a wobble after that series, but she is able to control it and reset.
Arkansas much better on beam than they were on floor. Nothing lower than a 9.825 thus far.
Sydnie has been strong ever since that first small wobble. Really controlling those landings. Steps into the round-up, double full. Much better than last week. She had a slight missed foot before that takeoff. Did it right this week. She barely moves into it, though. It's amazing. She gets so much power out of it. Finds that landing.
Some hugs from the sophomore, Leah MacMoyle. And now over to floor and Randii Wyrick. Well, again, somebody that we mentioned is dealing with a thumb injury, which has had her out of the bar lineup, which she just destroys. She is so beautiful on bars. We saw her earlier on vault. Not her best vault. She's looking to make up the difference here on floor.
And she has the tumbling to do it. She has a difficult first pass to start it out. The round up back handspring, a full in or a half in, half out.
A little sass after completing that first pass.
She had sass in warm-up. She had sass the entire competition from what I've seen. A nice three-element tumbling pass there. Some fun choreography to go along with it.
And no pressure on her shoulders, and that helps. She only needs a 9.125 or better, and LSU wins this meet.
It really does help to let you let loose, go out there and attack your tumbling passes, knowing if I make a small mistake, it's okay today. But typically when you attack it, you don't make those mistakes. On that line, doesn't look like she went over it. Close call though. Now, even though you can make mistakes at this point, I don't think DD would be very happy with you if you stepped out.
No, again, they're still looking for the 197 score. They have yet to hit that this season. Here's another look at the foot on the line, and that's, by the way, right in front of the judges.
She does the double back, a little far, steps right on it, and you're allowed to step on it, just not over it. So she stayed in bounds.
So awaiting her score. Again, she just needs the 9.125 or better for the Tigers to walk away victorious tonight. Samantha Nelson round things out on beam for Arkansas. Sydnie McGlone, by the way, with a career high 9.775 ahead of her. So she has improved.
It's really great when you can see improvement in such a pressure-filled environment from these athletes. Nice landing there on that series. Samantha has really grown into this role as the anchor position, building consistency Had a great year so far on this event. Giving herself those cues. You can see her verbally talking to herself. You got to do what you got to do on this event. And the dismount. Oh, if she would have just stepped back into place, it would have only been 1/10 of a deduction. But she took a few steps, so that will cost her on her score.
But again, so far ahead of her, all the scores very good for Arkansas on beam, bouncing back from floor. And Wyrick, by the way, scored a 9-9. Right for the judges. They saw it didn't go over the line, so she got the credit for the routine. And by the way, LSU, regardless of what Ashleigh Gnat does, hit 197 tonight.
That is an accomplishment they have done in the past, early in the season. Hitting it now, look, they're starting to peak at the right time.
Ashleigh Gnat, ranked 5th nationally in this event. This routine has scored very, very well so far this season. 2 9-9s and 2 9-9-5s.
She scores well because of the power that comes out of those legs. A double layout, and looks like it was nothing. Goes into the 2.5 punch front. Looks a little bit offside, but really did cover that well from the 2.5 into the punch front. She has a very difficult routine throughout the tumbling. It's not just difficult at the beginning and eases up at the end. She competes with difficulty throughout, which is another thing the judges are looking for. Double pike to finish it off.
Beautiful.
She didn't get the 10 on vault, but I'm thinking this will be close to a 10 on the floor.
The look on your face just now told me all I needed to know. Now the question is, do the judges feel the same way? Here's what Didi thought of her second pass.
Good job, Doug.
And that might be where they take a small deduction. You can see her going a little offside, not really getting that punch she needed into that punch front. You could see bend in those legs, but it's going to be close.
So LSU with the victory here tonight. A lot of career highs, season highs. We'll break it all down on the flip side. Another great doubleheader, Friday Night Heights in the books, and it's the LSU Tigers on top of the Arkansas Gymbacks here today. 7 career highs, 5 season highs, and oh yeah, 197 plus the final score.
If you're gonna break the 197, it's to do it with a 197.4. That really shows this team has potential because they weren't perfect tonight. They still have room for improvement to build that score.
Well, let's take a look at our Competing with Style, brought to you by Belk, and it belongs to Hambrick, our all-around winner tonight.
She was really on tonight, starting on vault. The Yurchenko full, the body position in the air was on. Didn't quite find that landing. From bars onto beam, has been solid. Finding the landings everywhere she could, and then finish it off on the floor. Double pike, and nailed it.
So the Mardi Gras festivities, the Leos, the beads, all working to perfection for LSU as they hit the 197 mark for the first time this season. They improved to 7-1 on the season. Arkansas finishing with a score of 196.15.